Harriet's Hope is just kind of a passion project of mine. I was given the opportunity to participate in some street outreach in Chicago. I was just really very moved by what I saw. It caused me to be very uncomfortable with the awareness that women and children were being victimized and preyed upon. It feels to me that oftentimes providers feel like they're forced to drop victims off a cliff of sorts, a service cliff, when it comes to providing quality housing services. I think that there are a number of barriers that affect people who have been trafficked. Barriers like extensive criminal histories, barriers like sketchy landlord-tenant histories, and a lack of awareness of how to maintain housing independently that impacts this population in a way that makes it different from a lot of other vulnerable subsets. It's really necessary that we understand that housing for folks who have experienced this kind of trauma has to be different. It's got to have a different blueprint. It's got to be creative. It's got to be supported in a way that is robust, it is bold. It may not look like anything that we've thought of before.
To provide housing to a group of people that's been long ignored, and there's a need for it in Columbus, Ohio.
This is the first program to this caliber that exists.
My name is Dr. Marlene Carson. I'm a survivor of domestic minor sex trafficking. I am born and raised in Columbus, Ohio. I remember the day, it was a Labor Day weekend that we took off to New York, and that weekend I was sold 27 times. Human trafficking and the dynamics of human trafficking are horrific. Most of the girls stay with their trafficker or a John that was their buyer or a sugar daddy, because they can't afford housing. Most of the victims that we assist across the country, 90% of them or more have a substance abuse issue because traffickers now use substances to control. One of the things that a trafficker tells you is that no one's looking for you, no one cares about you. One of my greatest challenges was renewing my mind, was really like understanding that all of this was a lie. The most rewarding part of my journey is seeing the lives of traffic victims transformed. I can now go into a situation that is just as bad, give them hope, let them know that your life can be restored and you can live again, and watch and actually walk through that process with them. It's absolutely amazing. The #1 client was a police officer. When you think about that, we don't feel safe. We need law enforcement to understand the dynamics of sex trafficking. While I was being trafficked, I was not put on the streets. I was put on punishment and I was put on Main Street. And this guy pulls up, he said, "How much?" I say $200. So he gives me the $200 and he takes me to this house. He takes me to this house and he reads the Bible to me for a whole hour. And he tells me how much worth I have, and how valuable I am, and how he's going to help me get out this lifestyle. That was the most scariest thing to me because I thought two things. One, if the trafficker ever finds out, he's going to beat me half to death. That man actually did help me get out the life too. And it was a process.
Will this program succeed? Will the community open their arms and embrace this program as it needs to be? Welcoming the survivors or the victims as they begin their journey to restoration.
This program, if done correctly, stops continuity of service from ending at housing. And it creates a critical fill to the gap of, What do we do with this victim when he or she has gotten to the point where they've gotten enough courage to say, I've got to get out. We've got a place for them to go, and that place is Harriet's Hope.